Okay, starting to stream. I'm gonna need to send the link, unfortunately, so I can't start asking questions.
Hey YouTube, I'm famous. Woohoo.
All right, so welcome Appep Tribe to your 4th tribal. It's your 4th, right? Yeah, it's the 4th because 5 people have left the tribe and one of them quit. So that, or 4 people have left and one of them quit, and the 5th is about to. Cool, I know the number. I got it right. So let's start with you, Isabel, at the end of last tribal, where Michael was voted out and he made his big speech as his final words. What were your takes on that? Just because your name was announced. Gotta mute Skype.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what takes I would have on it besides like, it was like kind of, I mean, it sucks to be called out in like any circumstance. But I hope that I've made like enough bonds this round and like for previously in this game that it won't really like affect how I'm playing right now. But it's definitely something I'm aware of. And then beyond that, I do appreciate he said he kind of explained what he's looking for as someone on the jury. Because I think like that's valuable to have for any player in this game.
Yeah, so in terms of what he's looking for on the jury, who feels like they're the social players who are sitting at the bottom of their alliance? Is anybody here willing to accept that label? Who was he talking about?
I'll take credit for that one because before the last tribal, I very much was on the bottom of the past 2 merge votes. So he may have been talking about me. Who knows? He could still be right. I could still be on the bottom of me going home. You never know. But I don't know if he had anyone in particular in mind or if he was just shooting shots to make us paranoid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with the rest of the final words that we've gotten so far this merge, and really every vote since Grace left, big things have been said, such as when Grace said there's an alliance, or when Zach claimed to have a brother. Is whoever feels like have people been thinking about what they're going to say as their final words? Because I feel like this season has some pretty good ones. It's okay if you don't think about it. That's fine. So Benji, at the beginning of the merge, everybody came in as well, everybody except for Julian came in having at least one other person that they'd spent the entire game up to that point with. And now every single, there were a bunch of pairs like that, and every single one of them has lost one member, and the only people that have spent the whole game together are you, Johnny, and Isabel. Do you think that that puts a target on your back this round, or do you think that that it's not a big deal?
I think it would if we were like actually on the same page, like all 3 of us, but I've voted on the opposite page as both of them multiple times at this point. So I'm just like, after last vote, which I didn't see coming, I'm just trying to like take the advice that people were talking about at last tribal and like not just rely on the connections I had before.
Mm-hmm. I also asked Johnny the same question and realized that halfway through I started asking you that question. But when I asked Johnny that question, he said the question was framed as, does that put a bigger target on your backs? And he said, no, it doesn't, because I don't trust them anymore. LMAO. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I guess it's mutual. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does he say?
So do you feel like Johnny needed this immunity, or do you feel like you needed this immunity, or do you feel like it wasn't going to go either of those ways?
I don't really know, honestly. Like, I think, like, after last tribal, it wasn't exactly clear, like, who was going to go home this tribal. So it wasn't really something that I was thinking about, like, heading into the immunity challenge, where, like, if I don't win, like, I'm going home. Like, I felt like after last tribal, like, I needed to reevaluate either way.
And Adam, you just lost the person that you'd spent the entire game up to this point with. How much does that change the game not having Michael here?
Well, it certainly changes it. I mean, Michael and I had I'd probably talked to Michael more than anyone else in the game. I mean, not in small part due to the fact that we had been on the same tribe throughout, except for like the 4 hours I spent on Exile Island. And I feel like we have both been not insignificant targets in the past. I think we had both been like the surviving players who had gotten the most votes over the course of the game, up until last vote, obviously, when he got voted out. So I feel like him being gone in a way changes it for me, because now I feel like there are more eyes on me. There's a bigger target on me now that Michael is gone. But yeah.
And what happened last vote from your perspective?
I think with people I was talking to, I think maybe we got a little bit too ambitious, and it opened us up to it made us more vulnerable. Yeah.
Okay. Abrielle, looking at the original tribe, like which original tribes people were on, your starting tribe has half of the people left in the game at this point, with 4 original odd members and 2 original Enki and 2 original Enlil. Is that significant right now, or is that nothing?
Well, I mean, I think you answered that already with the Johnny, Isabel, Benji question, because they've spent the whole game together, and I'm the only one from the original On tribe who was not put on a swap tribe with them. But that doesn't mean, or at least that shouldn't mean, that I'm not able to work with them at this point. I think that original tribe lines always play a small factor, but at this point in the game, it's definitely not as big as it was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And Eric, do you think that there's any reason that there's 4 original On members who initially got all of the original On members got single digits at least once, and now here's 4 of them at the final 8? Do you think that that's like a coincidence, or do you think that they are just better at making it further? That was bad wording.
Okay, I understood the question, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really understand half of what you said. So I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. You want to ask me if the people on the On tribe were just like better at making it far?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my question.
I mean, probably because they've experienced it. I mean, but every game's different. Some of the people here all played games for the first time or second time, and they did pretty well. And there are people who did not so well this game that did really well in previous games. So it really depends on who you're with, what the tribes are, what the challenges are, basically everything. So
Mhm.
while you have experience, I don't think it's not because they were well in a previous game. It's because they were able to adapt to this one.
Mhm. Okay. So that's all the questions. There's only 5 people here. We're at final 8. It's pretty crazy how many how few people are left in the game. Yeah, so let's vote. If you haven't voted already, or if you want to change your vote, go vote. All right, the votes are ready. I did that very fast. Because I prepared them ahead of time. So if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right, I'll read the votes. First vote, Adam. Adam. Julian. Adam. That's 3 votes Adam, 1 vote Julian. Julian. Adam. And the 4th member of our jury, Adam. Thank you, Adam. If you have any final words, now would be the time to say them.
On that last one. Well, it's been fun. Yeah, I don't have any big reveals here, I guess. I'm sorry about that. Like some previous final messages, but I've enjoyed all of you as people. This has been a fun game, and I wish all of you the best. So good luck.
All right, thank you, Adam.
So sweet.
That was
Okay.
just
So pure.
That was so sweet.
Do you feel
Oh.
bad now?
Can,
yes, that was
Let's-
the least chaotic.
Can we
all final word.
can we unvote him out?
All right, Adam, come right back. No, unfortunately you can't. And you know who else you can't unvote out? Chris